The rainforest stirs beneath a soft grey mist as dawn approaches. Before sunlight breaks through the dense canopy, the air is filled with anticipation. A single dewdrop falls, marking the start of a new day. Ancient trees tower overhead, painting the world in endless shades of green. Every leaf and branch teems with hidden life. A piercing call shatters the quiet. It's as vibrant as the parrot that makes it. Soon the air fills with a chorus of squawks and whistles. Brilliant feathers flash through the foliage as parrots greet the day. High in a kapok tree, a female scarlet macaw settles over her eggs. Her mate arrives, bringing ripe figs as a morning offering. They greet each other with gentle preening, reinforcing their bond. As the sun rises, calm settles over the forest, and new life stirs within the hollow tree, ready to begin its journey. Deep within the wooden chamber, nestled in a soft bed of wood chips, lies a small, white, unassuming object. It is a parrot egg, a perfect, smooth capsule holding the promise of a new generation. It seems impossibly fragile against the vast, wild backdrop of the rainforest. Yet within this delicate shell, one of the most complex processes in nature is unfolding. A tiny heart has begun to beat, no bigger than a pinhead. A network of veins spreads like a miniature river system, carrying life-giving nutrients from the yolk. This egg is a self-contained world, a miracle of biological engineering designed to protect and nourish the developing embryo through its most vulnerable stage. The mother macaw is a vigilant guardian, a living incubator of unwavering dedication. She rarely leaves the nest, her body a warm, protective blanket over her clutch. Her mate is her lifeline. He forages tirelessly, returning with a crop full of nutrient-rich fruits, nuts, and seeds. He regurgitates this meal for her, ensuring she maintains her strength without needing to abandon her duty. This constant care is crucial. The temperature and humidity inside the nest must be kept just right. A sudden cold snap or an overly hot day could prove fatal to the developing chick inside the egg. The parent's instinct is a powerful force, honed by millions of years of evolution. The dangers, however, are ever present and come in many forms. A slithering snake, an expert climber, might detect the nest by scent, its silent approach a deadly threat to the unguarded eggs. Monkeys, with their curious and nimble fingers, could raid the nest in a moment of parental absence. Even smaller predators, such as large insects or opportunistic rodents, can pose a risk. The parents must be constantly on alert, their sharp eyes and ears attuned to the slightest sign of danger. A warning squawk from a nearby bird or the rustle of leaves below can send them into a flurry of defensive action, ready to protect their future offspring with fierce determination. For nearly a month, this delicate dance of incubation and protection continues. The world outside is a whirlwind of activity. Storms rage, predators hunt, and seasons begin to shift. But inside the dark, quiet nest, the steady rhythm of development proceeds. The embryo grows, its form slowly taking shape from a tiny cluster of cells into something recognizably avian. Feathers begin to form within their follicles, and a small, hard bump, known as an egg tooth, develops on the tip of its beak. This tiny tool will be essential for the greatest challenge it has yet to face, breaking free from its protective prison and entering the world. The first sign of hatching is a faint, almost inaudible tapping from within the egg. The chick, now fully formed, is using its egg tooth to chip away at the inner wall of its shell. This is an exhausting process, a monumental struggle for a creature that has never before used its muscles. It can take a full day or even longer. For the parent birds, this is a time of great anticipation. They listen intently, cooing softly as if to offer encouragement. Finally, a tiny crack appears, a window to the outside world. With a final mighty push, the chick breaks free, emerging wet, blind, and utterly helpless. It is a tiny pink and almost reptilian-looking creature, a stark contrast to the magnificent adult it will one day become. With the arrival of the first hatchling, the nest is transformed from a quiet incubator into a bustling, demanding nursery. The chick's first and only instinct is to be fed. It lifts its wobbly, oversized head and opens its beak wide, emitting a soft, insistent cheep. The parents spring into action. They now have another mouth to feed, a tiny, fragile life that depends on them for everything. The father redoubles his foraging efforts, seeking out the softest, most easily digestible fruits and seeds. He brings the food back to the nest, regurgitating it first for the mother, who then passes the warm, soupy mixture into the gaping beak of her newborn. Soon the second egg hatches and a new dynamic emerges in the nest, sibling rivalry. The chicks, though only days old, are locked in a fierce but silent competition for survival. The strongest and most assertive chick, often the first to hatch, will push its way to the front, ensuring it gets the most food. This is a harsh reality of nature. In times of plenty, both chicks may thrive. But if food becomes scarce due to a drought or increased competition, the weaker sibling may struggle to get enough nourishment. It is a difficult truth that not all who hatch will survive to fledge. The parents do their best to feed both, but instinct often drives them to invest more in the chick with the best chance of survival. For several weeks, the nest is a world of constant motion and sound. The chicks grow at an astonishing rate, their pink skin gradually becoming covered in a soft grey down. Their eyes open and they begin to see their world for the first time, the dark walls of their wooden home, the bright flash of a parent's feathers at the entrance, and the blurry shape of their sibling beside them. Their chirps become louder and more demanding as their hunger grows. The parents are relentless in their care, cleaning the nest, feeding their young, and fiercely guarding the entrance against any perceived threat. This period is a testament to the incredible energy and devotion required to raise the next generation. As the weeks pass, a remarkable transformation begins. The soft, grey down that covers the young chicks starts to give way to something far more spectacular. Tiny, pin-like sheaths push through the skin, looking at first like little plastic straws. These are the pin feathers, the foundation of the bird's adult plumage. Inside each waxy casing, a feather is developing, tightly furled. The chicks, now larger and more active, begin to preen themselves and each other, nibbling at the sheaths. This helps to break them open, allowing the new feathers to unfurl like delicate, colourful flags. First come the duller greens and greys, providing camouflage, followed by the brilliant flashes of red, blue and yellow on their wings and tail. With the growth of their feathers comes a new set of challenges and behaviours. The nest, once a spacious chamber, now feels cramped and crowded. The two growing chicks jostle for space, their movements becoming more coordinated and deliberate. They begin to exercise their wings, flapping them awkwardly within the confines of the nest hollow. These are not yet attempts at flight, but crucial muscle-building exercises, preparing them for the great leap to come. They also begin to explore their immediate surroundings, climbing the rough inner walls of the nest cavity with their sharp claws and beaks, strengthening their grip and testing their abilities in a safe environment. The parents' role shifts from simple providers to dedicated teachers. They bring back not just soft, regurgitated food, but also whole nuts and tougher seeds. They demonstrate how to crack them open using their powerful beaks with incredible precision. The young chicks watch intently, their sharp minds absorbing every detail. They try to mimic their parents, fumbling at first with the hard shells, but gradually learning the complex motor skills required. This is a vital part of their education. In the wild, the ability to process a wide variety of food sources is key to survival, especially during seasons when preferred foods are scarce. The world outside the nest entrance becomes a source of endless fascination. The chicks spend hours perched at the edge of the hollow, peering out at the vast green world they will soon join. They watch other birds fly past, listen to the complex calls of their own kind, and feel the wind on their new feathers. This period is critical for their psychological development, acclimating them to the sights and sounds of the forest. It builds their confidence and fuels their curiosity, preparing them mentally for the day they will leave the safety of their home forever. The parents call to them from nearby branches, encouraging them and familiarizing them with their voices in a wider, more open space. The day of the first flight is a moment of supreme tension and instinct. It is not a decision, but a biological imperative. The fledgling, now fully feathered and almost the size of its parents, stands at the precipice of its world. For weeks it has watched, listened, and prepared. Its parents are nearby, calling with a mixture of encouragement and urgency. They will not push it, nor will they bring food to the nest any longer. Hunger is a powerful motivator. The young bird shuffles its feet, peers down at the dizzying drop, and flaps its wings nervously. The forest, once a distant picture, is now a real, immediate, and intimidating space. With a final encouraging squawk from its mother, the fledgling takes the leap. It is an act of pure faith. For a terrifying moment, it plummets, its wings flailing clumsily. It is not the graceful soaring flight of an adult, but a desperate fluttering scramble through the air. The chick has the strength and the feathers, but it lacks experience. Its goal is not to soar, but simply to reach the nearest branch. It crashes more than it lands, tumbling into the leaves and grabbing on tightly with its claws. It is a clumsy, undignified arrival, but it is a success. The young parrot has flown. It has left the nest and will never return. The first few hours and days as a fledgling are the most dangerous of a parrot's life. Now out of the protected nest, it is exposed and vulnerable. Its flight skills are poor, making it an easy target for predators like hawks and eagles that patrol the canopy. It may struggle to find a secure perch or lose its balance in a sudden gust of wind. The parents are in a state of high alert, flying close to their offspring, guiding it from branch to branch and mobbing any potential threats with loud, aggressive calls. They lead the fledgling higher into the canopy, away from the dangers of the forest floor, teaching it to find safe roosting spots. The young bird's sibling soon follows, making its own perilous journey from the nest. The family is reunited in the canopy, a small, noisy flock. The parents continue to feed their young, but the process has changed. The fledglings must now follow their parents through the canopy, learning the routes to fruiting trees and hidden water sources. Their flight becomes stronger and more confident with each passing day. They learn to navigate the complex, three-dimensional world of the rainforest, banking around massive tree trunks and weaving through tangled vines. The Great Leap is over, but the true education in what it means to be a wild parrot has only just begun. Now that they are mobile, the young parrots enter a prolonged period of learning, an apprenticeship that will shape their entire lives. The rainforest canopy becomes their classroom, and their parents are their dedicated instructors. They are not taught just what to eat, but where and when to find it. They learn to recognize the subtle signs of a ripening fruit, the specific shape of a leaf that hides a nutritious nut, and which flowers will offer a drink of sweet nectar. Parrots have remarkable memories, and they begin to create a mental map of their vast territory, memorizing the locations of hundreds of individual trees and the seasons in which they bear fruit. This education extends far beyond foraging. The young birds must learn the complex social language of their species. They listen to their parents and other macaws, mimicking the vast vocabulary of calls, squawks, and whistles. Each sound has a specific meaning: a call to gather, a warning of an eagle overhead, a cry to announce a food discovery, or a soft murmur to a mate. This intelligence and ability to learn is a hallmark of the parrot family. It is this same cognitive ability that allows captive parrots to mimic human speech. But in the wild, it is an essential tool for communication, social bonding, and survival within their highly complex flocks. The young parrots also learn through play. They chase each other through the branches, hang upside down by one foot, and wrestle with twigs and leaves. This playful behavior is not just for fun, it is a vital part of their physical and mental development. It hones their agility, strengthens their flight muscles, and improves their coordination. They learn the limits of their own bodies and practice skills they will need for foraging and evading predators. Through these games, they also strengthen their social bonds with their sibling and other young parrots in the flock, forming relationships that can last for many years, if not a lifetime. As they mature, the young parrots begin to form a deep, lasting bond with a mate. Scarlet macaws are famously monogamous, and the process of choosing a partner is a slow and deliberate one. A young pair will spend more and more time together, flying, foraging, and preening each other's feathers. This mutual grooming is more than just hygiene. It is a critical bonding activity that reinforces their connection. This lifelong partnership is the cornerstone of their existence. It will allow them in a few years' time to find a nest of their own, raise their own young, and pass on the knowledge and wisdom they have gained to the next generation, continuing the great cycle of life in the rainforest. For millions of years, the greatest threats to a parrot's survival were natural ones: predators, storms, and the occasional shortage of food. But today, a far greater shadow looms over the rainforest, one cast by human activity. The thunderous roar of a chainsaw is now a more common sound than a jaguar's call in many parts of this ancient forest. Huge swathes of trees, the parrot's larder, bedroom, and nursery, are being cut down for timber, to make way for cattle ranches, or to plant vast monocultures of crops like soy and palm oil. This relentless habitat loss is the single greatest threat to their existence. For a bird that needs a vast territory and ancient trees for nesting, a fragmented forest is a death sentence. The changing climate also brings new and unpredictable dangers. Unusually severe droughts can cause widespread failure of the fruit and nut trees that parrots depend on, leading to starvation. More intense and frequent storms can destroy nests, flood the forest floor, and make foraging impossible for days on end. These shifts disrupt the delicate ancient rhythms of the rainforest to which the parrots are so perfectly adapted. They are resilient creatures, but there is a limit to how much change they can endure. The finely tuned balance between the birds and their environment is being pushed to a breaking point, with devastating consequences for their populations. Another dark shadow is the illegal pet trade. The same intelligence and beauty that make parrots so fascinating also make them highly sought after as pets. Poachers will often cut down an entire nesting tree just to steal the helpless chicks from the nest, a brutal and destructive practice. Many of the chicks do not survive the ordeal. For every one bird that makes it into a cage in a distant country, several others may have died during capture or transport. This cruel trade not only decimates wild populations, but also inflicts immense suffering on these highly social and intelligent animals, tearing them away from their families and their forest home forever. These combined pressures are pushing many parrot species, including the magnificent scarlet macaw in some regions, towards the brink of extinction. The vibrant dawn chorus is growing quieter in many parts of the world. The flashes of scarlet and sapphire are becoming rarer. We are at risk of losing not just a single species, but an entire family of birds renowned for their intelligence, beauty, and complex social lives. Their fate is inextricably linked to the health of the world's rainforests. As the forests shrink, so too does the parrot's hope for a future. The silence they leave behind would be a profound and irreversible loss for the entire planet. Yet, amidst the growing shadows, there is a glimmer of hope. All across the world, people are beginning to understand what is at stake. Conservation organizations, local communities, and dedicated scientists are working tirelessly to protect these magnificent birds and their rainforest homes. They are creating protected reserves where parrots can live without the threat of chainsaws. They're working with local people to find sustainable ways of living that do not require the destruction of the forest. And they are fighting to stop the illegal wildlife trade, raising awareness and pushing for stronger laws and enforcement to protect these vulnerable creatures. One of the most inspiring conservation efforts involves reintroduction programs. Here, parrots that have been bred in captivity or rescued from the pet trade are carefully prepared for a life back in the wild. It is a long and difficult process, teaching them the survival skills that their parents would have taught them: how to find food, how to recognize predators, and how to communicate with a wild flock. And the moment when a rescued parrot takes flight, free to join its wild cousins, is a powerful symbol of hope. It shows that with dedication and care we can begin to undo some of the damage that has been done. The voice of the parrot is more than just a beautiful sound, it is an indicator of the health of the entire rainforest ecosystem. Where parrots thrive, the forest is alive and well. Their role as seed dispersers is vital. When they eat fruits and nuts, they often carry them far from the parent tree, dropping seeds that will grow into the next generation of the forest. They are, in essence, the gardeners of the rainforest. Protecting parrots means protecting the intricate web of life that depends on them. Their survival is our survival, as the health of these great forests is essential for the health of our entire planet. The journey of our young macaw, from a fragile egg to a magnificent adult, is a story of resilience, intelligence, and hope. It is a story that has played out in these forests for millennia, but one that is now in jeopardy. The vibrant, noisy, and colorful world of the parrots is a treasure that enriches our planet beyond measure. Their calls echo through the canopy, a wild and beautiful song of life. It is our responsibility to ensure that this song does not fall silent. The question we must all ask ourselves is this: will we listen to their call and act to protect them, or will we allow their voices to become mere echoes in a silent forest? By sharing stories like this, you become part of a greater journey, revealing the secret world of parrots and the vast changes shaping the earth they call home. Each like, each comment, each share lets this story travel farther, finding new hearts and minds. Thank you for joining us. And until we meet again, keep your eyes open to the hidden wonders of our planet. There is always more to discover.